Okay, these are really stretched out. They're about 8 foot long. They have high horsepower engines. They run on nitro. There's no accessories. They're very light. They're 340 pounds. It's 200 horsepower plus, and you turn that loose between your legs to go 300 foot. You better be ready to go in about 6 or 7 seconds.
It has been very dry in south central Pennsylvania over the last 2 months, and certainly the weather factors and the terrain factors here would also affect how they gear the bikes and what type of traction that they use as we take a look at the hill.
Yeah, this hill's got 2 jumps in it, so they have to have enough traction to be able to come out of here. As you can see in the background, there's no runner. They start right at the bottom of the hill. They get to that first breaker, they got to be able to get off, get back on. So they're going to run a big chain, a fairly low gear, and go as fast as they can and try to stay on top of the dirt.
Okay, let's now take a look at the point standings as these riders stand coming into this particular national meet in the 800cc class. Points are awarded, 15 points for first, all the way down to 1 point for a 15th place finish. And sitting on top of the standings to this point in 91, Jeff Yoder with 77 points, followed by Wade Williams. In third, Louis Garenser Sr. In fourth, his son. And then in fifth, Tom Chatterton with 56 points. Earlier today, we had a chance to talk to Jeff Yoder about his strategy.
Well, the last hill climb I was at here, it was relatively dry in that, and I pretty much stayed with what I ran here the last hill climb. I tried to stick with the same thing over and over again. And we get 3 rides today, so I'll be able to try a few different things, but basically a little bit taller gearing today.
So we are ready. It is hot, it is dry in central Pennsylvania, and Rodney Smith from Glen Rock, Pennsylvania, nearby Jefferson on a BSA, will be our first performer in the 800cc class. Bill?
Yeah, Rod's a local yokel from nearby Glen Rock, and he's doing real well on this BSA. It's a very fast bike, and you can hear the power, and just look at him jump over that first breaker and really gives it a shot. It's early in the day. It's you know, the hill's going to be a little tricky.
And I'll tell you, he comes up very, very smooth in that very powerful bike, does Rodney Smith. Keeping in mind, this is the length of a football field at a 70-degree angle, and these guys are starting from a standing stop.
Right, they have no room to get a runner up. You see, he hit that first breaker a little hard. He lost a lot of time in the air there, so he's not going to have a real fast time, but it's still a good ride.
And his time is 8.11, and to put that in perspective, time in the 500cc class was 7.13 seconds. Let's now go to Richard Carlson of Kingston, Massachusetts, on a Harley Davidson. Richard moving into the starting line now and on the big Harley, Bill.
Yeah, these are 800cc nitro burners. Things are really fast. Look how he jumped that first breaker. He almost lost his footing on the bike area. He's in a lot of trouble with this ride, as you can see.
And at the very end, you hear the crowd react. He got the checkered flag, but just barely.
Yeah, the rule says that as long as you're in control or have a hand on the handlebar when you go through that light, that's still considered a time.
And you see the crews coming down over the hills to hook his bike. Remember, once again, this is a 70-degree hill, the length of a football field, and there are 2 crests in it that the riders must conquer.
And as you can see there again, he really went across that first breaker too hard, causing him to lose his feet off the foot pegs. You can't control the motorcycle from there.
Potential chance of injury, but he gets away with it, and time you see greatly affected, 10.17, so a very slow first round time on that run. Today's action being brought to you in part by Don's, Kawasaki, Yamaha, and Sea-Doos. They have a complete line of personal watercrafts, motorcycles, and ATVs. 24 years of fine professional service at 20 East Market Street in Hillclimb, Don's Kawasaki. And we're now ready for Richard Hunter out of Elkhart, Indiana. This is a rider, Bill, that earlier had to pull out of the start and take another place in line, which some of these riders do.
Yeah, as you can see, as he puts on a good ride for us here, if they have a little trouble, they get 10 minutes to get out and get a start and get back in.
Well, that looked like a very, very good ride for Richard Hunter, number 11, out of Elkhart, Indiana. Describe some of the mechanics of his ride, Bill.
As you see, he's moving all over that seat to keep the bike even up and pointed in the direction he wants it to go. They pick a line and they shoot for it.
6.92, so there's your new leader and the new time to beat on the hill today. Good performance. And now we move to John Williams, number 8, getting into the starting line, and out of Markham, Ontario on the Honda. And of course, take a little bit of time to warm up that Honda. And while we do, we want to mention today's action being brought to you in part by Electro Services, 2144 Columbia Avenue in Lancaster, featuring fine leathers and accessories for the cycling enthusiast. We remind you to always dress for the ride, Electro Services.
Right, big horsepower. Honda's out again and moving, and he's really got that thing running high on top of the hill, and watch him go to that top. Good ride for John Williams.
It is amazing.
Uh-oh!
Boy, just a little bit of a tumble there for John Williams, and I guess, you know, anything can happen. The ride is not over right after you meet the crest of the hill. There's still some things to contend with there. John Williams, a pretty good ride. It just amazes me the speed with which the 800cc's make this climb.
Oh, you're looking at a motorcycle puts out about 300 horsepower, and look at it though in the dirt, and you saw how that motorcycle moves, and it's hard to stop in that little short distance to the crest of that hill from that time of night.
So the STP Honda gives John Williams a ride to the top of the hill in 7.31 seconds. It's still not good enough to beat that established time to date of 6.92. Lagerman's Harley-Davidson has a complete supply of motorcycle parts, accessories, leathers, and riding apparel at 1377 Spahn Avenue in York. Lagerman's Harley-Davidson, a sponsor in part of today's action. Well, we're ready for Greg Williams out of Markham, Ontario in his Honda. And he's set at the starting line, Bill.
This is another one of the STP Hondas. A lot of horsepower, good rider. Watch him attack this hill. He'll keep that bike straight. He'll set way back on it, and he goes fast.
Boy, a very good run for number 28, Greg Williams, right to the top of the hill. Very direct, very clean.
Greg's a young rider. He's good. He's fast. He moved up to the 800cc class. He dominated the 500 class for a couple of years. And just watch him go up this hill. He just rides that motorcycle for all it's worth. 800cc of raw horsepower, and he handles it.
So if you think it was a smooth and fast ride, you're right. 6.77 seconds establishes Greg Williams at the top of the pack for the best first round time. So while Robert Castledine gets ready for his first round run, let's move now to the Coors Light leaderboard. Greg Williams up on top at a 6.77, followed closely by Richard Hunter at 6.92. And then John Williams at 7.31 is in third. Rodney Smith, 8.11 in fourth. And Richard Carlson just over 10 seconds. We'll be back with more first round action in the 800cc class after this. DRVP Motorsports coverage of the AMA Jefferson 800cc Hill Climbing Championships is being brought to you by Coors Light, the Silver Bullet, and by Coors Extra Gold Draft.
Jefferson has been family-owned and operated for over 67 years. The advantage? At Bonker Motors, you'll find experience in the sales and service of Plymouth, Dodge, and Chrysler. Choose the advantage, like the popular Plymouth Voyager, perfect for the family. Or try the durable Dodge truck, built to handle all kinds of weather and terrain. For luxury and performance combined, choose the stylish and innovative Chrysler Fifth Avenue. Find the advantage at Bonker Motors on the Hill in Jefferson, 4 miles south of Spring Grove and Route 516.
Today's Hill Climbing Championship action is being brought to you in part by Lancaster Harley-Davidson. Lancaster Harley-Davidson has all your biking needs, helmets, leathers, and riding apparel. Lancaster Harley-Davidson also has their own factory-trained service department and a full line of new 92 Harleys. Located in Willow Street, Pennsylvania, Lancaster Harley-Davidson. All right, Bill, we now move to number 9 in the pits, Robert Castledine out of Springfield, Massachusetts.
Yeah, he rides out of Riser's shop in Columbus, Ohio, and he's a good rider, and these 800cc XR Harleys really put out the horsepower.
You know, when you look down over the list, it really is a lot of Harley-Davidsons used in this big class.
As you can hear that power come on, and that motorcycle really starts moving up that hill. It really gets exciting when you're standing out here with it. Look out up top, he's not on course.
Oh, I'll tell you. Again, you can't appreciate perhaps the 70-degree angle of this hill, the length of a football field, and then after having traveled that in somewhere around 7 seconds, having to be able to pull the motorcycle to a stop and under control. Let's watch once again Robert Castledine.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a bouncy start out of the bottom there, but you see through that middle, he really keeps that wheel on the ground, really has that motorcycle moving. And these are very fast machines. Not much room to stop up top. Watch how quick he kicks up in the air.
And right here is where he kind of catches that side part of the hill and loses a little bit of control, does Robert Castledine. 7.12, a very, very fine run for him, but the established time of 6.92 stands to this point. The crew's double checking there. I thought Robert Castledine was all right. He appears to be okay. It's his machinery that needs a little bit of extra help. Well, all this action today being brought to you in part by the Cycle Den, 1115 Lancaster Avenue in Columbia. Specializing in American, British, and European motorcycles, a large selection of new or used parts, complete service department from minor tune-ups to complete restorations at the Cycle Den in Columbia. Bill, we now move to Tom Reiser, number 7 out of Columbus, Ohio, again on a Harley-Davidson.
Yeah, and Tom's a real fast Harley rider. He's got 3 of these machines out here running, and he also owns the hill record here. 5.25 seconds, believe it or not. Not on that ride. 5.25
seconds. Again, can you imagine doing that? Traveling the length of the football field at a 70-degree angle up in under 6 seconds. Just absolutely unbelievable. He broke the Finish line nice and clean, but just fell a little bit short of the crest of the hill, so you see the crew bringing him up over there right now. I think they got the toughest, most thankless job of the day.
And you watch here, Tom gets out, and right away he's drifting to the right. And this man hits his first breaker like nobody else does. That tire never left the ground. Yeah, and that's the secret to making speed in this hill. You got to keep them tires on the ground, keep the motorcycle straight. And he's getting a little out of shape there, so it might not be as fast as we think it is, but it's still a good ride.
So there you have Tom Reiser breaking the finish line. A very aggressive ride. Let's see what kind of time that leads him to. And the clock says 7.87 seconds, so a little bit of adjustment needed the next time around to beat that existing time of 6.77 held by Greg Williams. Tom Chatterton's next out of Avon, Illinois, again on a Harley-Davidson. All this action is being brought to you in part by Nentwig's Triumph of Lancaster, 823 South Prince Street in Lancaster, specializing in British cycles, complete service department, state inspections, and new and used British parts. Open daily Monday through Friday, 10 to 9, Saturday, 10 to 5, Nentwig's Triumph of Lancaster.
Here's Tom. He's out of the hole. He's another very fast Harley out of Durenter's. He's got a good ride going here, straight, smooth, not bouncing all over the place.
Oh, boy, the crowd loved it, too. You could hear their response to the number 24 bike of Thomas Chatterton as he came up over there very, very aggressively and very smooth.
Hey, look at him come out of there. Look how he keeps that back wheel on the ground, and that motorcycle's moving. He's up on top. It's going straight, not fighting. Just look how smooth that is. It should be a good time.
Well, it should be a good time based on performance. Let's see what the clock says. The clock says, yes, it is a good time. He's established a new first-round time to shoot for, 6.59 seconds. There's your new leader, Tom Chatterton. Now we move right down into the pits to the starting line again for Louis Garenser Jr., number 39, in the red and black. Louis is out of Elkhart, Indiana, again on the Harley-Davidson.
Yeah, Lou's got real competition here today because Lou's father will be the next rider up, so he's got to go a little faster than Dad. Another one on power. Well, look at him wheelie through that breaker. And just keeps that power right on. What a nice ride.
Well, you can tell
Look
by
out up top. All right, he's okay.
Well, you can tell by the ride that it was a very quick and smooth one. I guess we'll have to see whether or not he could match up the time of Thomas Chatterton, that's currently in the lead. Your thoughts on that ride, Bill?
Well, like I said, he come out fast. He kept it straight. Watch how he keeps the wheel on the ground, and he just keeps the power on. You heard that motor roaring the whole way. Look at that thing wheeling up through. How many others did you see have that much traction here today that they could wheelie up through like that? Very few.
Well, this looks like a very, very good time. Remember, 6.59 is what he's chasing. We're in the top third of the riders now, so you expect the times to be very, very good. And this one is 6.41 seconds, establishing the lead now for Louis Garenser Jr. And as we move to the Coors Light leaderboard, you'll see that Louis Garenser Jr. now sits atop it with 6.41 on that last run, followed by Tom Chatterton, 6.59. Greg Williams with a very good 6.77. Richard Hunter at 6.92. And in fifth place, Bob Castledine at 7.12. We'll be back after this.
Hey, which one looks like your beer?
Right here.
That one. This is Budweiser. Here's Coors Extra Gold.
Oh, man, just goes to show you.
58% of Bud drinkers preferred Coors Extra Gold in a recent taste test.
Think they're right. Looks like a better beer.
And guess what else?
What?
Coors Extra Gold was judged best premium lager at the Great American Beer Festival.
I believe that.
Slow brewed for that real beer flavor and color, the way beer was meant to be, which may be why
Gold beats the Bud.
Coors Extra Gold. If you're missing real taste, beer is back.
Well, I'm going to go get some of that stuff.
Rampress Racing Simulation brings the racing into your home by putting you behind the wheel. Now you can drive your own Indy racing car and compete against your friends. The Rampress Racing Simulation game is the most realistic auto racing board game ever. You set up how fast your car will run. You decide when to draft. Come in for pit stops and change your car's acceleration, braking, or handling. Then fly to quicker lap times and beat your opponents to the checker flag. To order your Ram Press Racing Simulation board game, send check or money order for only $10 plus $5 for shipping and handling. To Ram Press, 1706 West Market Street, York, PA, 17404. Special offer, only $10. Order today while supplies last. Send to Ram Press, 1706 West Market Street, York, PA, 17404. Ram Press Racing Simulation board games puts you behind the wheel.
The 1991 800cc Hill Climbing Championships are being brought to you in part by Trans Am Cycle, 933 Lidditz Pike in Lidditz. For your motorcycle, jet ski, and all-terrain vehicle needs, Trans Am Cycle Sales offers Kawasaki and Suzuki full product lines at one location, just north of Lancaster on Route 501, Trans Am Cycle. Let's see if Louis Garenser Sr. can beat that 6.41 his son established on the last run. Bill?
Well, he didn't get a good start. Look, he's off to the right up there at the top, and he's not going to make it over.
Well, I'll tell you, he is just stuck there on the crest of that hill. He took the checkered flag. He broke the finish line, but his machinery cut out. He cut it out right before the crest of the hill. Everything looks fine. Crew's helping him up here. Let's take a look and analyze this run, Bill.
Well, you see, he comes out real hard. The wheels are spinning. Now, watch when he hits his first breaker. That back wheel's going to go up in the air and doesn't come right down. He goes over the right side of the hill. It's really soft over there. Nobody's been running over there. It just throws his front end all around. It's hard to make time when you're in dirt that deep. But Lou does a good job of keeping the bike straight to the top of the hill.
So a very respectable 6.92 seconds for Louis Garenser Sr. Today's action is being brought to you in part by Zeckman's Yamaha in Pine Grove. New and used motorcycles, dirt bikes, and four-wheelers. Zeckman's in Pine Grove. Call 345-8918. Well, we had a chance to talk to Wade Williams of Ajax, Ontario earlier today about his strategy in attacking the hill.
All right, today we have a situation that's fairly similar to the spring. We ran here back in early June, and the hill really hasn't changed that much. And this year, I don't know, the good Lord's looking down on us because he hasn't put much rain down on everybody, and the hill's showing signs of being dry again today. So from running in the spring, I've got an idea that there's a few things I want to change. Gearing is one of them I have to take a look at because we were a little under-geared. Not getting as much bite means you got to put on more gearing so you can get that tire slowed down so it's not spinning so much. And fuel pressure today with the humidity may come into play as well.
Okay. How about for you as a rider of the hill, the scariest part, or what, for a viewer that wouldn't really understand what it feels like to go up that 70-degree hill, what's the scariest part?
I don't know if this particular hill there's not so much of a scary part to it, but the first part of the hill, this first 60 feet, you got to have your timing right when you come over that first breaker, because that's where you win or lose the hill climb on this hill climb. And you got to make sure that you get shut down at the top. I've gone off here a few times, and I was laid up for almost a week last year. Did some pretty permanent damage because my boots don't fit me the same way they used to, but I was fortunate. I really didn't break anything seriously, so.
So the native of Ajax, Ontario, wearing number 3, backs into the starting line in his STV Honda. Bill?
It's a team of 3. You see Father helping him, and Wade's doing an excellent job in these 800cc Hondas. Just listen to that motor. Look at that ride. That motorcycle is moving. That was a very good ride.
That's the way we like it.
A very clean and smooth ride for Wade Williams, number 3 out of Ajax, Ontario. And I would expect that he'd have a very, very good time, and I think the crowd believes that as well.
Well, he has everybody talking, as you saw there. Look how he comes out of that pit. That thing is spinning, but it's delivering the horsepower. He talked about changing gears. He must have found the right one, because it really is a terrific ride on this hill today.
Well, terrific indeed, because when we check the clock, it appears as though he's going to have a very respectable time, and he does. 6.19 seconds, which is establishing a new fast time in this first round. Well, Jeff Yoder out of Goshen, Indiana is up next, and we had a chance to talk to him earlier today about his strategy in attacking the breakers on this hill.
Well, this hill is a relatively trick hill. As you can see, the bottom of the hill there, breaks off, so to speak, and you can't run this wide open. So what we like to do is bring the bike out wide open and shut it off and just roll over this, what we call a breaker, and then turn it back on for the rest of the hill. The very top jump up there doesn't really affect us as much, but if you get the bottom breaker just right, it's a time thing, and if you can roll over it and stay on the ground and stay fast, then that's what's going to win the hill climb.
So Jeff Yoder, who wears number 2 but has inherited the number 1 point spot with the retirement of Earl Bowlby, backs his Harley-Davidson into the starting line. And Bill, he's got to have a good run here.
Yes, he's got some fast times to beat. He's got a good ride going, but he made a few errors that we discussed with him in his interview, and we'll point them out on the rerun to him.
Okay, he got over the finish line and took the checkered flag, but I'm sure that Jeff Yoder will not be particularly pleased with his first round run here today. Bill, where does he make his mistakes?
Right here at first breaker, he set about rolling over it. Look how high he is in the air. He lost a lot of time there and nosed into the hill. He had to get off of it and back on it. That motor really flies that he's on. Look how quick he gets up to the top of the hill from there.
Well, even with that lost time, he finishes at 6.63 seconds. Not bad for the mistakes he made in that first ride today. Action like this is being brought to you in part by Lebanon Valley Honda, Route 72, 5 miles north of Lebanon in Jonestown. The complete shop for the serious rider, street and competition. Let's move now to the Coors Light leaderboard, where Wade Williams sits atop it with a 6.19 second run, followed by Louis Garenser Jr., Tom Chatterton at 6.59 in third, Jeff Yoder in fourth, and Greg Williams in fifth.
So be my guest, you got nothing to lose. Don't you let me take you on a sea cruise. I say, ooh-wee, ooh-wee, baby, ooh-wee, ooh-wee, baby, ooh-wee, ooh-wee, baby. Don't you know the cool body is right here now? Let's go party down the beach all day. All day.
Baca Motors in Jefferson has been family owned and operated for over 67 years. The advantage? At Baca Motors you'll find experience in the sales and service of Plymouth, Dodge, and Chrysler. Choose the advantage, like the popular Plymouth Voyager, perfect for the family. Or try the durable Dodge truck, built to handle all kinds of weather and terrain. For luxury and performance combined, choose the stylish and innovative Chrysler Fifth Avenue. Find the advantage at Baca Motors on the hill in Jefferson, 4 miles south of Spring Grove on Route 516.
The 1991 800cc Hill Climbing Championships are brought to you in part by Woods Riders, South Queen Street in Dallastown. We stock a complete line of gear and accessories for the off-road rider. Street gear and equipment and jet ski gear and accessories are also available at Woods Riders. Call 244-4850. And now moving in to start the second round in the 800cc class is Richard Hunter, number 11, out of Elkhart, Indiana, in the Harley-Davidson.
He had a good first round ride, Craig, and I'm sure he's out to improve that. They're all looking to go faster. They made some changes. They're really going to attack the hill. He's got a good start going. He's really putting it through there, right up the middle of the hill. The tires on the ground. That's what he needs.
Very clean checkered flag taken by Richard Hunter of Elkhart, Indiana. His first round run that you alluded to was 6.92 seconds, and let's analyze this second run, which I think might have been better, Bill.
Well, it's very smooth. It looks real good. So when we hear the time, it might be just fast, if not faster. Very good ride.
Well, let's see what the clock says, and yes, it does indeed confirm that. 6.64 seconds for Richard Hunter out of Elkhart, Indiana. Let's now move to Rodney Smith, a local product out of Glen Rock, riding a BSA. He's set into the starting blocks. Bill?
Yeah, we saw him spin a lot on his first ride. I'm sure it wasn't a bad ride, but he's going to go for it. That BSA runs good. It's light. He's got a real good shot at this hill. Got out, looks like he missed his foot peg on the start, but he's bouncing and he's keeping her going. The power's on. It's a real good ride up over the top.
All right, and he breaks the finish line in his first run. He had an 8.11, hoping to better that now here on the second run. Let's take it from the start, Bill.
There he comes out, see his foot, he missed his foot peg. It cost him some time. He got a little off the right side of the hill, but he brings it back and he turns it on. So it turned out to be a pretty decent ride. Let's see what his time is on it.
Well, good job of recovery by Rodney Smith as he bettered his first round time. He's in at 7.37 seconds. This action being brought to you in part by WRS Racing, Wernsdorfer's Repair Service, 1188 Felton Road in Redline, Southern York County's #1 service center. Racing specialist with 15 years experience. We're ready for John Williams to move into the starting blocks. Good rider, Bill.
Oh, John's got many years experience with this. These STP Hondas really move. Look at him jumping. He's up in the air. Okay, he made it up.
Great ride that time. He had a first round time of 7.31 seconds, and I think he definitely bettered that there.
Yeah, John's a real competitor, and he's not going to be happy unless he's really motoring. Just there, he got out pretty straight there, hit that first breaker real good, pulling a little bit of a wheelie there. He's getting up in the air, but he's keeping that back tire on the ground. That should be a fairly good ride.
Well, the physical strength of John Williams was able to bring him and pull him to a 6.53 ride. Very good in his second round. Let's move now to Greg Williams, a fellow Canadian. He also on a Honda.
He's not only a fellow Canadian, that's his son. There's 3 Williams here. It's one racing family. And as we told you earlier, he was very fast in the 500cc class years ago. Now he's an 800cc, and his STP Hondas, all of them run. Excellent riders. Look at Greg turn that power on. He's wheeling too, so they've got a lot of traction in those Hondas. He still pulls it up to the top.
Up and over the top. He had a good first round run of 6.77 seconds. Hopes to improve on that here.
You can see he got out real good, and he hit the breaker fairly well. But here he starts wheeling and stuff. You got to let off to get that front end back down. That cuts into your time just a little bit.
Well, when we take a look at the clock on Greg Williams, it did indeed cut into his time. He lost just a little bit off his first ride, finishing at 6.90 seconds. Let's move now to the Coors Light leaderboard, where Wade Williams with his 6.19 looks like the time to beat. Louis Garenser Jr. in second, John Williams at 6.53 third, Tom Chatterton in fourth at 6.59 seconds, and Jeff Yoder, one of the top riders, rounding it out at 6.63. We'll be back after this.
Hey, which one looks like a better beer?
That one. This one.
This is Michelob, and here's Coors Extra Gold.
Wow, big difference.
62% of premium beer drinkers preferred Coors Extra Gold in a recent taste test.
Beer drinkers would know the better beer.
And guess what else?
What's that?
Coors Extra Gold was judged best premium lager at the Great American Beer Festival.
Quite an achievement.
Slow brew for that real beer flavor and color, the way beer was meant to be.
Michelob falls by the wayside.
Coors Extra Gold. If you're missing real taste, beer is back.
14-karat extra gold.
For over 25 years, Rental Tools has been servicing everyone from the homeowner to contractors and industrial developers throughout central Pennsylvania. We have the largest equipment inventory on the East Coast, and our knowledgeable, trained personnel can assist you with around-the-clock pickup and delivery on long and short-term rentals and job consultations. We also have access to equipment and specialty items at 14 other locations. Call for a free catalog. Rental Tools, exit 11 off I-83 York.
Did you ever wonder what it's like driving an open-wheel racing car? Well, race fans, here's your chance. Ram Press Racing Simulation Game puts you behind the wheel. Set up your car to accelerate, handle, and brake around a 1.5-mile oval. Use drafting and other racing techniques, and be the quickest in and out of the pits to beat your opponents to the checkered flag. To order your Ram Press Racing Simulation Game, send check or money order for $10 plus $5 for shipping and handling to Ram Press, 1706 West Market Street, York, PA, 17404. Ram Press Racing Simulation gives you everything real racing has and more.
Action of the 1991 Hill Climbing Championships is being brought to you in part by Electro Services, 2144 Columbia Avenue in Lancaster, serving all your audio-video needs for car and home, featuring warranty service for Alpine, Adcom, Denon, JVC, NAD, Nakamichi, and Yamaha. Electro Services in Lancaster. Robert Castledine out of Springfield, Massachusetts is our next rider on top of a, what else? Harley Davidson, Bill.
Another one of the Harleys. A lot of Harleys out here today. Part of the street team from Riser's shop in Orion, Ohio. He's out with a good ride. He's got her up in the air. He's heading her over the top of the hill. Good smooth ride for Bob Castledine.
Well, number 9, Bob Castledine out of Springfield, Massachusetts, had a 7.12 in his first ride. Describe his problems here on this second round ride, Bill.
When he come out that right side, you've seen the back end hop a couple times. When he hit the breaker, he went high. Look at him over in that rut, sliding around. Dirt's flying a lot. He's not getting a lot of traction. He could use a little more.
Well, I guess his consolation is that his ride was a little faster than the first round. 7.05 for Bob Castledine. We move now to Tom Reiser out of Columbus, Ohio, in his second round ride. Again on top of a Harley Davidson. Reiser had a 7.87 first round ride. He's looking to better that here as he backs into the starting block.
Tom's had quite a few wins at this York Hill. He's good on this first breaker. He can really hit it. Look at him go. He's getting a good ride through there this time. What a jump on that second breaker.
So Tom Reiser, who wears number 7 on his jacket, appears to have a chance at breaking the 7-second barrier on that second run. And let's take a look at what he did right this time, Bill.
Well, in the slow-mo you see, he hit that first breaker perfect again. Got her little airborne going across that second breaker, but that shouldn't bother you too much. It was a good ride.
Well, it won't bother him too much because he hit a 6.59 seconds. There you get a chance to take a look at our crowd who has gathered today. And let's move on now to Tom Chatterton out of Avon, Illinois. Again, atop a Harley Davidson. Chatterton, a very good run first round of 6.59 seconds. And as always, using that measurement tool as his personal best.
Yeah, he's going to go for broke. They all want to go faster every ride. Oh, he's got her up there.
Oh, man.
Oh, he's lucky the bike missed him. He turned her right over right there.
I thought that one was going to come right back on top of Tom Chatterton, and it is so unfortunate. What happens here, Bill?
Well, we'll have to see what happened. It got him in trouble. See, there was a little pretty good in that first breaker, but up here he must be getting a lot of good solid bite because she just powers up. That was all power, pulled it up over. It looked like the front wheel might have caught him a little. He stuck his head in the dirt.
Oh my, 6.87 seconds, but what a finish to a ride by Tom Chatterton. Just amazing that he can come away from that less than bruised, and it looks like his equipment is okay as well. Well, let's move now to Louis Garenser Jr. of Elkhart, Indiana. This action is being brought to you in part by Lagerman's Harley Davidson. Lagerman's has a complete supply of motorcycle parts, accessories, leathers, and riding apparel at 1377 Spahn Avenue in York. Lagerman's Harley Davidson, 854-3214. Bill?
Yeah, Lou Jr.'s out. He jumped that first breaker, and he's really running for all it's worth. Did a little wheelie, but he kept her straight. And over the top, looked out, and he straightened her out.
Boy, a lot of action up on the top of that hill between the crew, the camera crew, and you see the safety equipment up there as well. Pretty much area behind there, but you got to keep it under control. Let's describe this ride. Is it better than the last one? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. He spent a lot of time in the air over that first breaker. And he's getting a little left and right action out of the bike going up through that middle section there. There he wheelied, but he's right at the light.
6.64 seconds, so just slightly worse than his first run at 6.41 for Louis Garenser Jr. Up next, we have Jeff Yoder of Goshen, Indiana, and earlier we had a chance to ask him, what's the scariest part of this ride?
Well, the scariest part starts when you fire your bike up, and hopefully it will start instead of blowing up. And then the next step is to be on the starting line with 160 horsepower between your legs, and you drop the clutch, hope that the front end doesn't come up, flip over upside down on you in the starting line. And this particular hill here, if you don't shut off at the finish line, you glide over the top of the hill, and you can get 50, 60 feet of air up there. So basically the top part of the hill is what would in a sense scare me. Other than that, it's pretty well basic.
Well, Jeff got his motorcycle started, and it didn't blow up. In his first round, he had a 6.63, but he's still chasing Wade Williams, who passed in the second round. Wade leading with a 6.19. Let's see if he can better the 6.63 he had in the first round. Bill?
Yeah, Jeff will go for it all. He's really turned it loose. He hit that breaker real good. He's headed right to the top of the hill. Look out, he's wheeling around the breaker too.
I'll tell you what, when you get up towards the top of that hill in that last crest, and you see that wheel flip up, it's amazing to me how these guys maintain their control, and Jeff Yoder did a nice job that time. Let's review the run, Bill.
Yeah, he's got a real good run going. He come out straight, hit that breaker real well. He's going through that middle real fast, not kicking up much dirt, but he just wheelies are there, and you got to let off to get that front end back down.
Well, that last wheelie may have cost him because his 6.38 is not good enough to catch Wade Williams. This action is being brought to you in part by Don's Kawasaki, Yamaha, and Sea-Doos. They have a complete line of personal watercrafts, motorcycles, and ATVs. 24 years of fine professional service at 20 East Market Street in Pelham. Well, let's move now to the Coors Light leaderboard. Wade Williams still on top as he passed in the second round, but his 6.19 from his first run holds up. Jeff Yoder with a fine 6.38 in second. Louis Grenzer Jr. at 6.41 third. John Williams and Tom Chatterton round out the top 5.
Let's go party down the beach all day. Let's go party down at the beach all day.
Baca Motors in Jefferson has been family owned and operated for over 67 years. The advantage? At Baca Motors, you'll find experience in the sales and service of Plymouth, Dodge, and Chrysler. Choose the advantage, like the popular Plymouth Voyager, perfect for the family. Or try the durable Dodge truck, built to handle all kinds of weather and terrain. For luxury and performance combined, choose the stylish and innovative Chrysler Fifth Avenue. Find the advantage at Baca Motors on the hill in Jefferson, 4 miles south of Spring Grove on Route 516.
Today's hill climbs are being brought to you in part by Lancaster Harley-Davidson. Lancaster Harley-Davidson has all your biking needs, including their own factory-trained service department and a full line of new 92 Harleys. Well, we're just about ready for John Williams to back into the starting blocks. John, a 7.31 and 6.53. He's got a long way to go to catch Wade Williams.
Well, he's not got too far to go. He's only like 4/10 of a second behind him, and John's very capable. These STP Hondas really run well. He's got a good start out on him. John's really moving it up through the center of that hill. Look out, he's got a little crooked up front.
Oh,
almost dove into the hill, didn't he?
Almost took a dive right through the finish line into the side of the hill, but he's able to bring it up over that crest. And a good run for John Williams.
You can see there in the slow-mo, he's throwing a little bit extra dirt. It looked a lot faster than what the time looked like to me. But he lost a lot of time when he dove into the hill up top there.
Well, it did slow him down to the tune of 6.93 seconds. And now we move to the other Williams, Greg Williams, also from Markham, Ontario. 6.77, 6.90 through the first and second rounds. This action is being brought to you in part by the Cycle Den, 1115 Lancaster Avenue in Columbia, specializing in American, British, and European motorcycles. A large selection of newer used parts, complete service at the Cycle Den. So Greg Williams ready to go on his third and final ride, Bill.
He's got a good one going. He's wheeling up through the dirt there.
Whoa!
Look out! He lost it up top.
Oh, man.
Get out of the road before the bike comes down.
Boy, I'll tell you, the crowd really reacted to this third and final ride of Greg Williams. I think he's okay. The bike may be another matter. What went wrong here? Let's take a look at it very closely as he takes a pretty severe spill towards the end, Bill.
Other than Willie and getting a little crooked, it looks like he's got a little extra. He jumped across that second breaker and the back tire hit on that sharp and incline. Just wants to kick her right back at you.
So it's a qualifying run of 6.71 seconds. And you talk about guts to push something across the finish line. That's exactly what Greg Williams executed. As Robert Castledine moves into the starting blocks, let's remind you that Netwig's Triumph of Lancaster at 823 South Prince Street, specializing in British cycles, is bringing you in part today's action. Complete service department, state inspections, and new and used British parts open daily, Monday through Friday, 10 to 9, Saturday, 10 to 5, Netwig's Triumph of Lancaster. Bill?
The Bob come out on the right side of the hill. He's looking for a faster track up. Making pretty good time, and the wheel hit a little there at the second breaker.
Well, it was a pretty good run for Bob Castledine, number 9. He had a 7.12, 7.05. He may, with a pretty smooth run here, have his first sub-7 of the day, Bill.
Yeah, notice he's staying over the right side of the hill. He really hit that first breaker good. He's staying out of that rut everybody was in. He might be up top there for a decent time.
Well, the move to the right results in a 6.48 for Bob Castledine, but still that 6.19 of Wade Williams holds in the number 1 spot. As we move to Randy Gabriel of Columbus, Ohio, again on a Harley-Davidson. Just north of Lancaster on Route 501 is Trans Am Cycle. For your motorcycle, jet ski, and all-terrain vehicle needs, Trans Am Cycle Sales offers Kawasaki and Suzuki full product lines at one location. Bill?
Yeah, Randy's in there looking for a good ride. He had 2 rough rides. He's coming out on the right side, too, following the lead of Chatterton. Getting a pretty, oh, he jumped that section breaker. Not bad at all.
Well, everything has gotten at least better for Randy Gabriel, number 6, as the day has progressed. He had a 10.92 first round, 8.90 second round, and I think without a doubt, this is going to be far better than those 2 runs, Bill.
Yeah, you can see it's real smooth. He's keeping it on the ground. This is a real good ride for Randy.
Well, let's see if the clock confirms what our perceptions are, and it does indeed. 6.67 seconds, so Randy Gabriel's day has gotten better, but he still is not able to catch up to the leader, Wade Williams, at 6.19. We move now to the Coors Light leaderboard. There it is, Wade Williams at the top, followed closely by Jeff Yoder at 6.38, Louis Garenser Jr., 6.41, in 4th, Robert Castledine, and in 5th, John Williams. We'll be back after this.
Hey, which of these 2 premium beers do you genuinely prefer?
This beer right here is much better.
This is Miller Genuine Draft, and here's Coors Extra Gold Draft.
Oh my God, I don't believe it.
57% of premium beer drinkers preferred Coors Extra Gold in a recent taste test.
I guess I'm one of them.
Want to know something else?
Hit me.
Coors Extra Gold was judged best premium lager at the Great American Beer Festival.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Slow brewed for that real beer flavor and color, the way beer was meant to be, which may be why it's taste.
Blow the mill out of the water.
Coors Extra Gold. If you're missing real taste, beer is bad.
I'm definitely going to get into the gold.
Rampress Racing Simulations brings the racing into your home by putting you behind the wheel. Now you can drive your own Indy racing car and compete against your friends. The Rampress Racing Simulation game is the most realistic auto racing board game ever. You set up how fast your car will run. You decide when to draft. Come in for pit stops and change your car's acceleration, braking, or handling. Then fly to quicker lap times and beat your opponents to the checker flag. To order your Rampress Racing Simulation board game, send check or money order for only $10 plus $5 for shipping and handling. To Rampress, 1706 West Market Street, York, PA, 17404. Special offer, only $10. Order today while supplies last. Send to Rampress, 1706 West Market Street, York, PA, 17404. Rampress Racing Simulation board games puts you behind the wheel.
Coverage of the 1991 Hill Climbing Championships is being brought to you in part by Woods Riders, South Queen Street in Dallastown. We stock a complete line of gear and accessories for the off-road rider. Open evenings 6 to 9 and Saturdays 9 to 5. Woods Riders in Dallastown. Well, there are only 2 riders that have a shot at Wade Williams, and the first one is Louis Garenser Sr. out of Elkhart, Indiana on his Harley-Davidson. 6.92 his best time of the day. What do you think, Bill?
Well, Lou will give it everything it's got. He's got a good start, a little jumpy there in that breaker. He's over in that center. I don't know, he left off a little early. Must have been getting out of shape on him.
Okay, he was not quite as aggressive as perhaps you would have anticipated, but let's take a look at the run again. Much better, obviously, than his second run, where he only traveled 220 feet.
Yes, he's traveling a little left and right up through the center of the hill there, and you see that forced him to let out to straighten it out, so it's...
Okay, the clock says slightly better than his first round run. He finishes 6.88, his best time for the day. And so it comes down to this. Jeff Yoder of Goshen, Indiana, is the only person left to have a shot at Wade Williams. This is the run, his third round run, that will decide who wins this 1991 800cc championship. Let's go to the starting blocks and Jeff Yoder.
And Jeff's ready. Jeff's got a real fine running Harley, and he'll give it a real good shot. He'll give it everything. Look for a good, exciting ride here.
6.19 seconds, the time to beat.
Last chance. He's over the breaker. He's got it turned on. Oh my, he jumped right through the second one. Left off a little early, I believe.
Okay, and leaving off just a little bit early gives this crowd and perhaps us, Bill, the sense that he may not have caught Wade Williams in this particular competition.
He's got a real good ride going. He gets off to the left of the hill a little bit up near the middle of the second stretch, but looked good to me.
Looked good to everybody, but not good enough. 6.81 seconds, the final ride of Jeff Yoder. All this action being brought to you in part by Zeckman's Yamaha of Pine Grove. New and used motorcycles, dirt bikes, and four-wheelers. Repairs, parts, service, and financing, Zeckman's in Pine Grove. Bill and I will be back with the final wrap after this.
No use singing the blues. So be my guest, you got nothing to lose. Won't you let me take you on a sea cruise? I say, ooh-wee, ooh-wee, baby, ooh-wee, ooh-wee, baby, ooh-wee, ooh-wee, baby. Don't you know the cool body is right here now? Let's go party down the beach all day. All day.
Baca Motors in Jefferson has been family owned and operated for over 67 years. The advantage? At Baca Motors you'll find experience in the sales and service of Plymouth, Dodge, and Chrysler. Choose the advantage, like the popular Plymouth Voyager, perfect for the family. Or try the durable Dodge truck, built to handle all kinds of weather and terrain. For luxury and performance combined, choose the stylish and innovative Chrysler Fifth Avenue. Find the advantage at Balka Motors on the hill in Jefferson, 4 miles south of Spring Grove and Route 516.
Welcome back to the AMA National 800cc Hill Climbing Championships from Jefferson, Pennsylvania. The hot, humid, and dusty day is now history, and with me is the winner, Wade Williams, number 3 in your program and number 1 in your fans' heart now, Wade. It was really a big day for you. One run, but the one run did it for you at 6.19 seconds.
I was tickled today with today's win. The hill, we came here today and it looked cloudy. We didn't know if it was going to rain or not. I got one good ride in on the first, well, I only made one ride today. The hill, there was lots of bite in it when we started the race at the bottom, and it was real soft up the top, and I knew I had to get a good one in on the first round, and we lucked out with our gearing, the fuel pressure. We made a change just before we rode today, and everything just clicked for us. Mother Nature from there helped us out the rest of the way. It dried up the hill, and the guys just couldn't find any bite in the hill, so thank you, Mother Nature.
You said it was a tough hill once it became dry, because that allows it. It looked like they were digging down in at least a foot in terms of traction.
Oh, you got it. They were really going down. They were almost going down and bearing the frames, and once you start bearing frames, I mean, you got a lot of friction there. So it just softened up. For me, it worked out great. For the other guys, it made it a little tougher.
You have quite a battle going on throughout the year with Jeff Yoder, an outstanding rider. Did you have a chance to see any of his runs today?
Oh, I was watching Jeff close. I know how he rides, so, you know, I was looking for maybe a path he was going up on the hill, because if he got a good one through, I'd be checking out exactly where he went through just to see if there was something there I was missing.
Okay, in terms of your strategy now for the rest of the year, talk a little bit about this hill, some of the other courses that you attack.
Well, next one we go to is going to be Freemansburg, Pennsylvania. As far as I know of, I've heard some rumors about them running a hill climb in Elkhart, but that wasn't on the schedule. I don't know if they're going ahead with that or not. But Freemansburg is a 600-foot hill just outside of Allentown, Pennsylvania. And, man, I love that hill. That hill works for the Hondas down there. We can really get flying on it, and it's exciting. It's got a couple of jumps on it, so that's where we'll be headed next as far as I know.
Okay, Wade Williams is your winner today in the 800cc class here at Jefferson, Pennsylvania in the Nationals. Let's now go and take a look at today's final standings and the point total for the year thus far. Well, it took only one ride for Wade Williams to establish his winning time today, 6.19 seconds. Jeff Yoder, the number one rider in points, finishes second with 6.38. Louis Garenser Jr., 6.41. And Robert Castledine and John Williams round out the top five. Well, much of today's action has been brought to you in part by Lebanon Valley Honda, Route 72, 5 miles north of Lebanon in Jonestown. The complete shop for the serious rider, street and competition. We specialize in custom gold wings with over 20 touring cycles currently in stock at Lebanon Valley Honda. As you see the Coors Light leaderboard, 6th through 10th place with a 6th place tie. Let's go to the national point standing with Jeff Yoder and Wade Williams on top. WRS Racing, Warndorfer's repair service, 1188 Felton Road in Redline, was bringing you in part today's action. Southern York County's #1 service center, racing specialist with 15 years experience. You had to be impressed by the power and acceleration of the 800cc motorcycles, and perhaps on any given day, Bill Eiler, the one thing that can happen is your #1 and #2 point finishers can flip-flop in a given meet, and that's exactly what happened here today at the Nationals in 1991.
Yeah, it's all these bikes are the top 5, 6. There's 10 riders out there. You have the top 15 in the country here, and any one of them can win. And it takes a little skill, a little luck, and a good motor, you know, and whoever puts that combination together is going to win, and that's what you saw today. The second place point rider came from behind and took first place.
Okay, so obviously Wade Williams riding the Honda, won out today over Jeff Yoder on the Harley-Davidson, but who knows what will happen next time. Well, we certainly enjoyed bringing this exciting event to you here on DRVP Sports. For my broadcast partner, Bill Eiler, for all our crew, I'm Craig Smith saying have a really good week, everybody. DRVP Motorsports coverage of the AMA Jefferson National 800cc Hill Climbing Championships has been brought to you by Coors Light, the Silver Bullet, and by Coors Extra Gold Draft.